I'm back. Lactoferrin. This is a gesture health production. The following information is for research purposes. I am not suggesting that you take anything before talking to your doctor. Alright, let's get into the research. Alright, so first I want to thank everybody. I got more views on doing this in the last than most of my videos, and I'm glad that people are paying attention to lactoferrin and you know, I think it's important that more people know about this substance. And I just want to let you guys know, you just don't have to do lactoferrin. You can look up how much lactoferrin is in whey protein and how much lactoferrin is also in colostrum. Those are the other ways in which you can get it without getting unpasteurized milk. I have no issue with unpasteurized milk, but that's that's your decision. But let's get into the antimicrobial effects. Now, this is probably one of the biggest reasons to take lactoferrin, in my opinion, because everything begins microbially. Okay, so probably lactoferrin's best known role is, you know, iron binding. It's referred to as hololactoferrin in its iron-bound form and apolactoferrin in its iron-depleted form. Studies have found that in the apolactoferrin form that has the most powerful effects as an antimicrobial agent. Okay, so lactoferrin has the ability to suppress certain health-degrading bacteria in the intestine. Lactoferrin is a powerful antimicrobial that inhibits a wide range of pathogenic bacteria and other microbes. The mechanism appears to lie within lactoferrin's ability to bind iron, and this is the key. And this is something that I've found that a lot of people don't talk about. They talk about the glucose and everything like that, but they don't seem to catch on to the iron. And I was the same way before too, until I started looking into lactoferrin. And that's why once I really started digging into it, I was like, man, I gotta let people know, and I don't know why all these other people are not talking about this. But it is known to be high, to have an extremely high affinity for this metal. The pathogenic bacteria, okay, so many pathogenic bacteria, here, I'm going to highlight this, need a supply of free iron to multiply. In the presence of lactoferrin, they are strongly inhibited or killed. Okay? So one study looked at lactoferrin as a natural antibiotic. So remember in the last video when I was talking about when I first got lactoferrin, I was beginning to have a sinus infection from allergies. Okay? Typically, I would have called my doctor, made an appointment, and got some antibiotics. But I've been trying not to use antibiotics because antibiotics kill good bacteria as well as bad bacteria. And it'll create an environment for the bad bacteria to just take over. And that's really going to fuck your system up. Pardon my language. And I was only taking, no, right now I only take 125 milligrams of lactoferrin. But um, um, the when I started taking two, which would have been 250, it like sped up the process of healing my sinus infection, and within like 2 to 3 days, it was gone. But during that time, I had no pain. Now, what did happen is I will say that I hadn't ever blown my nose as much as my life in those 2 weeks. Um, and if you start taking this, that might be a possibility. But anyways, okay, as a natural antibiotic, and found that lactoferrin in both in vitro and in vivo strongly inhibited the toxic bacteria, um, he Helicobacter pylori. That's my best guess. Um, and I'm not for sure if people understand what in vitro and in vivo are. So, all right. So I just wanted to do this real. Okay. So in vivo is Latin for within the living organism. Within the living. Okay. So studies occur inside whole living organisms like humans, animals, or plants. In vitro, within the glass, studies are performed outside of the living organism, typically in controlled laboratory settings like test tubes or petri dishes. Okay, so that's the difference. And most of them start as in vitro and then they move into in vivo. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that when I talk about in vitro and in vivo, that you understand what I'm talking about. So okay, let's go back to what we were discussing. All right. So, um, so blah blah blah. Okay, so, um, okay, so lactoferrin has. Oh yeah, we're okay. So, they stated it is concluded that bovine cows lactoferrin has significant antimicrobial activity against that bacteria in vitro and in vivo. Another study using both in vitro and in vivo methods added lactoferrin to drinking water of mice and subjected them to the toxic microbe Staphylococcus, something like that. The study found that the mice getting the lactoferrin as 2% of calories reduced kidney infections by 40 to 60% and reduced bacterial counts from 5 to 12-fold. They concluded the results suggest a potential for the use of lactoferrin as a natural antibacterial proteins for preventing bacterial infections. Interestingly, some studies have found that lactoferrin from cows to be more effective than lactoferrin from humans for antibacterial properties, though it's well established that human mother's milk confers a great deal of protection to the newborn due to many factors, including high lactoferrin content. And that's because human milk has more lactoferrin, like 15% more lactoferrin than what cows' milk does. So several studies found that lactoferrin inhibit a wide range of gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, yeast, and even certain intestinal parasites. So these are the list of parasites or bacteria right here. Okay, I don't even want to try to pronounce their names, but I highlighted them. It should be noted not every microbe that is pathogenic to humans is suppressed by lactoferrin. So do make note of that. But there's a good lot, okay? Okay, so There is also research of lactoferrin being able to improve the efficiency of antibiotic treatments in its fight against pathogenic microbes. Considering the out-of-control use of antibiotics and the rise of antibiotic-resistant strains of bad bugs, this is very good news. I would say so too. Um, would the combination of lactoferrin and antibiotics be a knockout punch to certain bacteria that are not being killed by antibiotic treatments alone? More research is needed. Now, the one thing that I have found is that I I have found that it's probably not a good idea to take, I mean, at this moment, until more studies come out, to take lactoferrin and antibiotics together, not because it's going to do anything bad to you, but apparently it makes the antibiotic weaker. So, lactoferrin as an antioxidant. Okay. So, lactoferrin is an antioxidant that scavenges free iron. So, what we mean by free iron is non-hemi iron. Okay, so which comes from plants, food mostly, but it does also help regulate hemi iron too. Especially if it becomes, I guess, in a free range. Um, but So it helps to prevent uncontrolled iron-based free radical reactions, thus protecting certain cells from peroxidation. The lactoferrin is both an iron scavenger and donor. It has been found to scavenge or donate iron at the appropriate times when the body is in need of the reaction. Okay, so because of its ability to do what it does, it diminishes oxidative stress to tissues. Let's see here. I will leave the link to this below, as I said before. But yeah. So, okay, so and here's some very important information. Diseases such as cancer, heart disease, and AIDS are all closely related to oxidative stress. Okay? And one study examined the role of whey proteins, multi-fermented whey proteins, and lactoferrin in oxidative stress made the bold statement right here. We can conclude that whey protein, lactoferrin, and multi-fermented whey are good candidates as dietary inhibitors of oxidative stress and should be considered as potential medicine foods, okay, in various pathologies as HIV infection and cancer. All right. So, okay, and the latest National Cancer Research Institute in Tokyo, Japan, suggests that whey protein, specifically bovine lactoferrin, may inhibit colon cancer. Okay, so, okay, and here's another study about how bovine lactoferrin might also fight cancer in the esophagus and lungs. Okay. So if you got AIDS or HIV, cancer, any major disease, even multiple sclerosis, Crohn's, IBS, I would research how lactoferrin works with it. And if there's no studies on it, ask the question if the disease has anything, or the sickness has anything to do with iron or misiron regulation. Okay? And so, I mean, a number of studies are now being examined for their, lactoferrins being examined for their potential anti-carcinogenic properties. Okay? Recent news headlines about CLA announced that natural fatty acids reduces breast cancer risk. Okay, And then, let's see here. Okay, here's another one. Likewise, calcium has been receiving attention after showing the potential to cut colon cancer risk in recent human trials. A recent study that tracked 70 patients at risk for colon cancer for a year had half of its participants consume their normal diet while asking the other half to increase their calcium intake from low-fat dairy foods to about 1,500 milligrams per day. Okay, the investigators report significant improvements in biomarkers for men who followed the high calcium diet. Okay, and lactoferrin helps with calcium absorption. So in concluding, okay, there is little doubt that lactoferrin is a major find and a potential breakthrough as a natural, non-toxic treatment in an array of human ailments. Is a non-toxic treatment in an array of human ailments. Okay. Though a handful of companies are able to produce lactoferrin at this time, there is only one company producing apolactoferrin form in large quantities. Studies suggest that the superior form of the supplement is with apolactoferrin. Now, the one that I mostly buy is a combination of both lactoferrins. And I think that's good too. And then, you know, it has a good list of peer-reviewed papers if you want to read more about it. And it has more references too. Now, the next one, because I just wanted to show you a little bit about this to get you interested in, I'm going to dive. So next Saturday or Sunday, it depends if I, today I wasn't selling because I have a place where I go sell, products, like a stand. But today it's, gonna rain pretty bad, so that's not happening today. So depending on next week, if it rains or not, then, if it rains, I'll do it on Saturday. If it doesn't rain, I'll do it on Sunday. I have a space on X tomorrow that I'm trying to get people to join. And if you want to, you can ask me questions about lactoferrin, business, and other things. What I know about maybe the possibility of this Great Depression coming or World War III. I have a lot of knowledge on that too. I'm gonna try something and I hope it goes through, but I'm gonna try and put my novel kind of like advertisement in the end of this video. And that's one of the best ways to support me right now, is if you would go to Amazon and buy my novel. I would very much appreciate it. There are free chapters to read on both books on my YouTube channel. I got 10 free chapters on the first one, which is Reborn, and Lilith, Adam, and Eve, The Dark, the Gray, the Light. I have 17 free chapters. I hope to see people buying my novel. It helps me to where I can stay here and do stuff like this, especially if you like stuff like this. Okay, these are the new days that I'm going to be doing things. Sunday's going to be a new Convergence article. Monday is going to be my new YouTube video days for the Convergence, and Saturday or Sunday will be extra videos if possible, if I can do it. And Sundays I'll be doing a space on X, 5:30 Central Time, and I will talk to you guys later. I'm gonna do my outro video, and then I'm hopefully be able to attach my novel advertisement video. So if you could stay tuned for that, that would be awesome. So this has been a gesture production, well, a health production, and please stay tuned for my novel advertisement. And see you all Monday.